Hi everyone, in this video I am going to share how to build an amazing LinkedIn profile and why your LinkedIn profile is extremely important in terms of getting jobs, in terms of getting freelancing clients, or in terms of getting any sort of opportunity, because people are going to view your LinkedIn profile before giving you any kind of work. So let's watch this entire video in order to understand how to build an amazing LinkedIn profile and what are some of the things which you should follow or keep in mind while building your LinkedIn profile. So first things first, you should have an amazing profile picture and the cover image of your LinkedIn which should look extremely professional, and it should cater to the target audience which you're going to serve in the future. For example, if your target audience are, let's say, some investment bankers, private equity funds, or some top-notch professionals of the economy, then you should have a proper professional photograph with a blazer and a tie, and that should be uploaded on your LinkedIn profile. And in terms of cover image of your LinkedIn profile, you should have some cover image of, let's say, your past achievements, or what are some of the things or services which you provide, or some of the highlights which you want to give to the client who's going to view your LinkedIn profile. So for example, if you see mine, I have mentioned about my ranks and I've mentioned about my Insta, YouTube and Twitter handles on my LinkedIn profile cover image, where people can directly go to my handles and watch my videos and what work I'm doing on my content creation part. Separately, if you look at the profile picture of mine, it's a professional photograph which has been clicked in a studio with a blazer and a tie, because since I'm working in a professional venture capital fund, it's very important for me to keep these kind of photographs so that the future clients or future founders who want to send their pitch decks to Aditya Birla Ventures can get to know about the profile of the person after looking at the attire and the cover image. So this is very important. If you're a creator on LinkedIn, you should turn creator mode on, and after turning that creator mode on, you can just mention in your bio itself about what are the topics which you're going to talk about. So for example, in my profile, I've mentioned that I talk about life lessons, I talk about finance, I talk about startups, and I also talk about the experiences over the last 2-3 years of my life which I've learned over the corporate career, and I share it with all of you. So this is extremely important. If you're a creator on LinkedIn, you should turn this on so that people can automatically follow you, and LinkedIn has come up with this feature where if they send a connection request to a person whose creator mode is on, automatically that person is going to follow irrespective of the person accepting the connection request or not. For example, if I am sending a connection request to Aman Dhattarwal and if he is not accepting my connection request, it's automatically deemed that I'm going to follow him, because this is a feature which LinkedIn has come up with for all the creators. So if anyone is sending me a connection request, then automatically that person is going to follow me, and this is a beneficial feature for all the creators because their followers are going to increase with this feature. And if you want to start your creator journey on LinkedIn, then this is one of the best times for you, because LinkedIn is promoting a lot of micro creators through photographs, through video platform, and even through text platform, which a lot of people are going to write. And if you're a creator on LinkedIn, always ensure that the link which you're going to provide of any other social media handle, be it Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, you should never ever include that link in your post itself, because what is going to happen is that LinkedIn won't promote that post the way it's going to promote your other post, because it does not want LinkedIn's audience to go on other social media handle, and it wants LinkedIn's audience to be there on that handle itself. So that is very crucial that you just provide the link of any social media handle in the comment section. For instance, if I want to provide link of my Instagram handle, what I do is that I usually upload it in the comment section and I mention it in the post stating that the link to my Instagram handle is in the comment section. Or for example, if there's any podcast with any guest, I don't provide the YouTube link in the text itself. I provide that in the comment section and state that in the post that please watch the entire video by clicking on the link given in the comment section. So that's again very important. Then coming to the featured section of LinkedIn, you have to ensure that any of your posts or any of your work which you want to highlight or recognize, you should ensure these kind of posts are included in your featured section. So for example, I had taken an interview of Honorable Suresh Prabhu sir in July 2021, and I think that was one of the most memorable achievements of my life, and I just wanted to feature that on my LinkedIn handle. So I featured that LinkedIn post on my LinkedIn handle itself, so people can get to know that okay, I take interview of industry stalwarts, and if there's any industry stalwart whom I want to interview, and if he or she is checking my LinkedIn profile, then they will get to know that I have already interviewed these eminent personalities, so there will be some sort of credibility which will be attached while taking the interview, and chances of conversion increases a lot once your LinkedIn profile has a proper featured section where your work is highlighted and you are highlighting what kind of achievements you have achieved in your life. This is extremely important, and don't feel this way that you're going to flaunt or you're going to boast. You have to ensure that you highlight your achievements, because people are going to give you work only basis your achievements and the quality of work, which can ultimately be highlighted by the featured section of LinkedIn. So if you're posting anything of, let's say, what you're going to do in the future, if there's there's any post which has gone viral, then definitely you can include these posts in the featured section. The next section is the about section, which is again very important, and there are two views on this section. Either you can write it in first person, or the second view is that you can write it in the third person. I personally feel that a third person is much better than the first person, because it's like a person is reading your LinkedIn profile, and if it's in the third person, he can read it in a much better manner and he can resonate it much well as compared to writing it in first person. So for example, if you see my LinkedIn profile, I've mentioned about what I have achieved in my life and what I'm doing currently. I'm working in the investment team at Aditya Birla Ventures. I've cleared my CFA and ACCA, and what are some of the other things or other traits in me which can be useful or beneficial for a person who's thinking to give me some sort of work based on my LinkedIn profile. So always try to ensure that you write it in third person itself, and anything which you want to highlight in your about section should come up upfront itself, and you shouldn't shy away from writing some of your strengths as well as some of your highlights so that people can get to know more about you as a person. The next important thing which comes is the experience, and this is one of the most critical and important things of LinkedIn profile. You have to ensure that whatever experience you're mentioning, you have to ensure that you write some of the other work which you've done in your stints or in your role wherever you are working. For example, if I was working in corporate finance in Aditya Birla Group, I've mentioned what are some of the deals I've worked on, what was the transaction value of the deal, what was the value addition from my side, and all those sorts, so that it will be helpful for the person to see what kind of work I have done. For example, in my experience of Gokhale and Sate articleship, I've mentioned that I was involved in all the complex assessments and litigations. I was also part of income tax appellate tribunal appeals. I was a part of statutory audit of a bank with an asset base of 9,000 crore rupees. So all these things which are there, you should quantify it and you should ensure that you mention all these things on your experience. It's as good as your resume, and whatever experience you're going to write on your resume, you have to capture the gist and summary of all those experiences and mention that in your experience section of LinkedIn profile itself. Then comes the education part, where you have to highlight what are some of the achievements in your educational qualifications, and you have to ensure that these educational qualifications should come basis the one which is most valued by you and basis the ones which you want to show in your LinkedIn profile towards the right hand side in the top side of your profile. So I wanted to show CA, and therefore I mentioned CA first. Then I've mentioned about other qualifications like ACCA, CFA and BCom, and some of the achievements are mentioned in those LinkedIn profile itself about the ranks and whatever achievements I had during the educational qualifications. For example, mentioning about national topper in additional mathematics in 10th standard, national topper in accounting in 11th standard, and all India ranks in my CA exams, and all world rank 3 in my ACCA exams are some of the achievements which I've mentioned in my LinkedIn profile, so that if people can scroll or if people are viewing this profile, they'll get to know about all these ranks and qualifications, and it'll be easier for them to judge me as a person in terms of all the academic qualifications which are there. Then one of the most important parts is about the volunteering experiences which you want to highlight on your LinkedIn profile. It's very important that you highlight all the volunteering experiences which you have done. For example, I've mentioned about the content creation journey on my YouTube. I interview industry stalwarts. I've also mentioned that I'm a core committee member of Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, and I've also mentioned that I was a volunteer for the Vikasa National Conference, which was organized by ICI, wherein 3,200 students had attended the conference, and I was the lead anchor during that time. So these volunteering experiences are going to add tremendous value wherever you apply for a job, or let's say even if you're applying for an MBA, that person is going to view all these experiences, and these are going to matter a lot. And then you have to ensure that all the skill sets which you've learned over the last 2-3 years of your corporate life, you lay them down in a professional manner. So for example, I've mentioned about public speaking, I've mentioned about financial modeling, I've mentioned about financial analysis, and people can endorse you for these skills if they think that you have the expertise in those skills itself. You can anytime request a lot of people to endorse you for your skill set, which means that people know that you have the relevant expertise in the particular skill set, and you can anytime request for these endorsements as well. And the second last part is about the recommendations, and this is again very important. You need to ensure that you at least have 2-3 recommendations by industry stalwarts, or let's say by people whom you were reporting to during your work, and therefore these recommendations would add a lot of value in terms of getting a job into another company, or let's say getting an admission in one of the best colleges in India or outside India as well. So I've taken recommendations from Mr. Jayant Gokhale, who was the senior partner at Gokhale and Sate, and I've worked closely with him. And I've also taken recommendation of Surbhi Goel, who is the chief executive officer of Aditya Birla World Academy, where I've worked on a project related to target acquisition opportunity. So these are some of the recommendations which you can take, and therefore this is also going to add a lot of value. And in terms of honors and awards, just try to mention that you mentioned 4-5 crisp awards which you have achieved in your life, and these awards should be very short and crisp in terms of what is the highlight, what is the achievement. So for example, I've mentioned about the Abacus Championship National Topper which is there, and I was the Special Mentions and High Commendations Award holder in the Model United Nations as well. So these small things you have to keep it short and crisp, and ensure that the person who's going to view your profile would be able to view them in a very short and quick manner, so that his or her time is not wasted. And finally, your interests are going to be shown wherever you are interested, which company, which influencer you are interested in. And basically this is like one of your personal traits where people get to know about your interests and what are your other activities which you want to portray. So all in all, you have to ensure that you have to build a very professional LinkedIn profile, which is going to help you fetch a lot of opportunities in terms of getting another job, getting an admission into an MBA college, getting your future client if you're going to start your own practice, or any other sort of opportunity. And in case you want to see my LinkedIn profile, I have just given that link in my description box itself. You can click on that link, and you have to ensure that if you're going to become a creator, turn on your creator mode and post content which is of utmost interest to you and which you think would be beneficial for the target audience. So that's extremely important. So I hope this video was useful for all of you. If you do like this video, share it with all your friends and subscribe to my channel so that I can create more videos for all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.